So I'm so glad to know that Mr. Ira decided to write a book on his experience. I could also write a book, not of that magnitude, but of different experiences that I have had over the years. But like I was saying before, when I graduated in 1965 from Beard Person Albion High School, I went to New York in September, and I stayed about 9 years. So by that time, I had not experienced racism because my parents, my mom and dad, they weren't letting us interact with anybody other than people at our church. At that time, it was called Peaches Chapel, and it still is. So I didn't experience a lot of racism in that area. But when I went to New York, that's when I was exposed to a lot of other things, important things, positive atmospheres and stuff. So I'm so glad about that because that helped me to get to know our politicians. And you know, when I was here the last time, I encouraged everybody to get to know our politicians, associate yourselves with them. But the main thing I want young people to know is once you get some education, you can kind of make some big changes with things, you know. But you can't do anything if you don't have education. You know, you can do things, yes, you can do things, but the more that you have, the better off you will be, and your families, especially this day and time, because as I look around this county, houses are expensive. And, you know, working at the local restaurants is fine, because I do part-time, but I'm retired, you see. So it's fine, but it's not enough to raise a family. And I would just love to see a doctor's office come here to Franklinton, another grocery store, and there's something called a bowling alley. If we could find a bowling alley, somebody could get one started here, you know, just things that some of the young people can do, you know. Church is wonderful and it's fine. Prayer is wonderful and fine. But God wants us to be socially balanced in most of the areas, you know, so that's just my little part about that part. But as far as the racism, I still say education and getting involved in politics is one of the ways to combat that racism.
And what was the name of that book?
My People Don't Want Me to Know, and it was by Fawn, F-A-W-N, Brody. And she had written a couple of other books too, but I didn't read those.
Now, was she local or she was up in here sometime?
Oh, no, she wasn't here.
Okay.
She wasn't from Franklinton.
Okay.
I don't know where, I forgot where she was from.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to get all that information when I went back, but like I said, I guess they can look. Who's the by now?
Brody.
F-A-W-N, B-R-O-D-I-E.
Well, like I was saying a while ago, I wouldn't be surprised if this book gonna get banned from certain libraries, because especially here in North Carolina, where they're trying to copycat in Florida and try to ban everything that more or less supports minorities or anything.
Well, we hope we don't get banned, Mr. Harris, because, like I say, I know we put that out there.
In time, they're gonna have to allow it.
Yes, it will.
Because so many other things, so many other books, so many other people. So in time, it will be accepted.
Yeah, because I was surprised to hear the other day on the news in the prison system, they also ban certain books. They don't allow prison to read. Because President Obama had written a book, and this prisoner has sent for it, and they told him no because it might cause him to incite a riot or something. They wouldn't let him read the book. So that's kind of strange, man. If you're in prison, you can't really do anything to hurt anybody, and you want to learn. And not just that book, for one thing, it's depends on the state and the prison you're in, and whoever makes the decision, the warden or whoever, it's what they want you to read. You can read that, but some you want, no. So that's, yeah. Stuff that prison is supposed to be rehabilitation. This person wanted to be educated, so he want to read different things and learn about different things in the world. But see, to me, we want to try to limit him or her from learning something new, so when they get a chance to go home, they can do better. That's right. That's right.
That's pretty good. Well, thank you, Mr. Harrison. Miss Irene, you started a family. Could you share some of your experience of living here in North Carolina before you moved away, and did you meeting with racial tension and stuff like that?
Thank you, Tom. No, I can't really say I remember too much of it. I lived here in North Carolina for 16 years. I'm top of the road majority of my life, and my mom was Sis Cruz, some people called her, and my sister Sarah Teasley, Taylor Cruz Teasley, and you know, I had brothers after we were every day were hard workers, and Georgia, they could pick cotton and working in the fields, tobacco fields, all day long, from sun up to sundown. I remember that. They were really hard work. I couldn't work as hard as they could. I did most of the babysitting for them, for other people. Mom would hire people, and I would do the babysitting. So, but I just remember them how hard they worked, and I sometimes wonder, why did they have to work so hard? I often wonder about that. And the thing with this, they were sharecroppers, so they couldn't own anything. You know, you sharecropping, you work from one season to the next, and it was always, Mama always knew when to go out there and plant and everything. But racism, I think we knew sort of like, I think I heard Ms. Wilson say, we socialized with the black people, and we went to church with blacks. I always wondered why we didn't go to church with white folks. If this is what the world, if this is God's world, why we never went to church with white folks. But it was always in this. And look, we went to Little Zion Baptist Church at that time, and I just saw the hard working that they was doing. And after that, I wanted to be a teacher, so I saw too about the books being passed down. We didn't get our books at the same time that the Caucasian people got their books.
Right.
We got their books, and you could tell it was their books because their names were in the back of it.
Right.
And I saw how they would just let us lag on, and for that reason, I wanted to be a teacher. I always said I'm going to teach our children how that they don't have to be last. And I became a teacher. I didn't want to sit at the back of the bus. I left here when I was 16, but I didn't want to sit in the back of the bus, so I became a bus driver too. And I drove the big buses. But for that reason, I saw that how they would treat our people. We couldn't eat at the same restaurant they ate at. We couldn't go to the same movie they went into. And if you did go to the drive-in movie, you had to sit in your car and bring children with you. Mommy used to take us all with us, and we would get out and watch the movie on the outside. But you couldn't go to the same movies that they went to. Restaurant, you would have to go into the back door. You didn't go into the front door. So I saw the difference to how they treated us versus them. Did we know then that we was being segregated? We didn't know because we drank out of wells, but we had well water. We didn't have water running in the house, and didn't have bathrooms at the house for a long time. And so we had to go out to the outhouse. And so I just knew that there was a difference, and I just tried this. I joined different organizations like the NAACP and trying to get involved with that. I tried to get involved with the Democratic Party and say, I'm going to make a difference. I need to make a difference. And that's what I began to do, is reach out. And I heard a young lady say that getting to know your party, who's in charge, who's in office. And so while we was here in Franklinton County,